So we had the Rural Community Celebration event on Saturday 6th September. Went really well. It was a fantastic day. I really enjoyed it. The first education practitioner that we had, who's Chris Bourne from Pegasus Outdoor Ventures, him and his wife came along to run the event and they really enjoyed it. We had 10 children and they all came with either one or two parents. And yeah, we got great feedback from everybody. Most people stayed for the whole event. There was only 2 children and 1 parent that left early because they had to go off to some other activities that they already had booked. So we did bows and arrows, which was absolutely fantastic. Went off collecting hazel rods from in the woodland, showing children and the parents how to coppice hazel stakes, hazel rods. And then we made them into bows and arrows. And we set up a shooting gallery, so they all got to have a go at firing their bows and arrows into the shooting gallery as well, which is made up of pictures of cartoon animals. So they're all animals that have been mentioned in the memories of the people that I spoke to in the interviews. They're animals that they used to hunt, or at least try to shoot with their air rifles, although they said that usually they weren't very successful at that. So I think that was everyone's favourite activity. People loved doing that, and we did have people that were walking through the Old Town Park, which is where we held it, walking through, dog walking whilst we were setting up, and a lot of the people stopped to see what we were doing. And a lot of people said that they used to do bows and arrows as children as well. So it seems to have been a really popular activity that people did in rural areas. I grew up in a city, and it wasn't something that we did, so I think it is more of a rural thing, so that's been quite interesting to find out. We then had lunch, which was a picnic lunch, as in a lot of the memories said they used to go to the woods for picnics. We sat by the river where we had a campfire going as well. So whilst while they were eating their picnic lunches, they also prepared it's like a bread mixture to make twist and dampers to cook on the fire, and also scooped out orange skins to cook their eggs on the fire as well. Some of the parents got very excited at the idea that you could cook eggs in orange skins, so it was really good that they took a big interest in what you could actually make. Some of the children didn't really like the eggs because they tasted a bit like orange, so it was a strange flavour really, but they all loved doing the twist and the dampers, spreading jam on them, so they were really nice, and yeah, kids really enjoyed doing that and learning how to do that on the campfire. Over lunch, a lot of the kids also played in the river, which was great to see. It was playing in the river, particularly fishing and swimming with things that had come up in the memories as well. So it was good to see that the kids really enjoyed and wanted to do that. A lot of them were filling up their wellies with water and stones from the river, which I don't think the parents were too happy about, but they were okay with it. We also, after lunch, did 4-strand plaiting. We told them that we were doing this because people had done plaiting baler twine to make rope swings in the woods in the past. So this was a new skill for everybody there. Nobody had done 4-strand plaiting before. A lot of the kids kind of got a bit bored with it after a few minutes of struggling with it, so it was mostly the parents that finished it off. But they all said that it was something they were going to have a go at home at a later date. We gave them a little guide how to do it, so they all took one of those home with them and some strings so that they could do it themselves. We also set out on a rug materials for playing Capture the Flag, which unfortunately we ran out of time to do. But we did have instructions there on how to play it, which the parents read and the children took interest in, so hopefully it is a game that they will play in the future with their friends. Also on that rug we had the materials for doing the magic laurel leaf writing, which I think most of the children did have a go at. It wasn't a led activity, it was just there for them to have a go at over lunch and to take the leaves home with them. I think some of the parents said that they'd done it as well. On the instructions it told them to put it in their shoe to take home with them so that they could see the message that they'd written on the leaf when they got home. Most of the children didn't want to put the leaves in their shoes and made their parents do it instead. So yeah, that's another new skill which has been passed on and which they all really enjoyed doing. Right, so what else did we do? We shared a lot of the memories that had come up in the interviews. I made a list of things that had come up, as well as an information sheet on the Old Skills New Stories project, and gave that to each of the families. And over lunch and whilst we were at the event, I was talking to them about the memories that had come up, the activities that people mentioned, kind of the purposes of the project and why we were running that event. Everyone was really interested. We had one guy there who's actually a historian. He works with schools a lot, and he was really interested in the project, and gave us some ideas on how we might take the project further, looking at community history and history of woodlands, perhaps nationally as well. Unfortunately, we struggled to get people to give us feedback on their memories of woodlands in a digital way. We did set up a memory booth, which was some tarpaulins hung between some trees, and we put video and audio recorder in there and encouraged the parents to go in and give us their memories, talk about them, what they did as a child growing up, things that they do with their children now. But only one of them was actually willing to do it. Most people looked pretty horrified when I asked them if they'd be willing to do it. I think they just didn't really like the idea of being recorded. I did do feedback sheets though, so people could give written feedback on the event, what they feel they got out of it, and also to ask them to briefly describe some of their memories. We did get very brief replies. It was mostly along dog walking, going for walks with family, picnics, that kind of thing. A couple of people did mention that they'd made bows and arrows and things like that, but mostly it was just using the woods for recreation and leisure, really. So all in all, I think it was a great event. I think it achieved its purposes of sharing what the project had achieved, what we'd found out, and passing on new skills and stories to younger generations and families, and hopefully getting them to go out in the woods more together, giving them ideas for things that they can do.